All right, how are we starting off this week?
Alcohol. God, it's hot. It's been one of the hottest months so far this year on record. We are sweating our fucking tits off.
It's really. I think it makes it worse as well because the last week it's been raining.
It has been raining.
So before that, it was hot as fuck.
It's just been boiling.
Last week it's been torrential rain. Today it's like, I don't know what, 27, something like that.
And you know what us British are like. We moan if it's hot. We moan if it's cold. We moan if it's snowing. We moan if it's sunny. We can't be happy with it. We're not happy with it. It is literally like being in Madrid. We came out of Tesco's earlier, got our beers, and we literally, the heat hit us from that air conditioning. I'd just like to say that anyone that's got a dog out there, I feel sorry for the dog. You have a dog, don't you?
I do.
And how is he coping?
He's actually okay when it's like this. It's when it gets past about, what was it today, 26? I think.
Well, it was 29 in some areas. In London, it was about 31, 32.
Down at our house, it was about 26p. But once it gets above about 26, 27, it starts inside our house. It's pretty cool, but once it gets past that, it does get a bit unbearable.
Yeah, I bet.
He's normally okay with it, but he just kind of sits there, just waiting for it to end.
He just wants it to end.
Yeah,
he's got like 6 inches of hair on him, like, to just help him.
He's a very furry
boy.
Yeah,
I advise to anyone that's got like pets out there, do keep an extra eye on them in this weather, and yourselves, children especially, because children will just go blasé. It was sports day today for my son, so it was kind of like really hot. Had to keep him well hydrated. Completely forgot about myself. Wasn't bothered. Backs and my calves were burning.
Absolutely melting.
Just absolutely melting. The only thing I had on me was a fucking hat, my t-shirt and shorts. So great parent in there. Made sure the kid was fine, but myself.
There you go.
So yeah, the hottest day so far was a couple of days ago. This has got to be coming up to the hottest so far.
Do you know what? I don't even know if today's actually been the hottest, or it just feels worse because it's been so rainy recently.
I think it does, because we've had that cool build up to it, and then to get top of it tomorrow, will be pissing down rain. Yeah,
it's actually not going to be that nice. It's going to be like average for the rest of the week. I think like 22, something like that. 22,
yeah, and then going on from that, I think it's warm up again. We're just in the beginning of July at the moment, and then also 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, America. Yep, you got rid of your foreign invaders. The British, the French.
Us.
You got rid of us, basically. And I've been celebrating proudly for you. 4th of July, love America. And I just hope Trump gets in soon than ever. Cause
do you reckon he's actually got a chance?
I think he's got a chance.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, of course he's got a chance. Do you know why he's got a chance? Because the camera's on him.
Because the camera's on him.
Sleepy Joe can't keep up with it.
I mean,
Sleepy Joe said that, he thought that Vladimir Putin was in Iraq, didn't he, in the war?
I don't even think Sleepy Joe knows where he is most of the time.
Nah. Do you reckon he knew where he was on 4th of July?
No.
Do you reckon when they said to him, happy birthday, Mr. President, he probably went, what?
He's like, who are you? Who am I? Where am I?
where am I?
That man should not be in any
deluded,
sort of power.
like, white room, like underwear. He's like, where am I? So, yeah, saw all the TikToks, absolute explosions.
Yeah.
Some of them actually look like they were like actual full-on explosions, and they were in America. They weren't filmed in like Russia or like Afghanistan, So full respect to America this year. Well done, going out of a blow. And obviously, since COVID and all that, they're able to party again properly.
Yeah.
They've actually lifted everything now. You can fly over there without having to be vaccinated and everything now. So it's looking great. So yeah, welcome back. We are back in the humbled abode, hot office.
Yes, we're back in the sauna.
We managed to get away with two weeks of being on the sofa.
Did pretty well.
We did quite well. We've now been banished back to the office. Back to the studio.
Back to the studio.
Back to the studio. So it just gets worse from here. Another MP has been caught for having sexual assault allegations.
Sexual inappropriate behaviour.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's...
I'm not surprised.
No, I don't know if anyone's heard about Chris Pincher, the MP, who's recently been...
He was pinching her.
He was doing something. But basically, this guy has been found out, or it's come out, that he's been trying to get this young woman whose name I'm not going to say, but he's been sort of saying to her, come and sit on my lap, and in the end, I heard her on the radio the other day, she even said in the end, he was going on about it so much, and she felt like she just had to shut him up.
She was peer pressuring.
Yeah. I mean,
how old was she?
I'm not sure how old she was. I mean, she sounded young, but obviously you can't tell.
No. Yeah.
But no, this guy was a bit of a, I guess it's what you'd call like an old school perv,
Didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
I don't even know if people like that do. Do you know what I mean?
No, they're completely blasé.
I think they genuinely think like this. I want this. It's okay.
The worst bit about it is that he was peer pressuring her so much to come sit on his lap that it must have been getting to a point where he was going, "Come on,
Yeah.
come on, boy, come on my lap." I mean, that's fucking not right, mate. Like the House of Commons and all that. Like,
Can you imagine being in a position where you
well, you're abusing your power.
Yeah, but you had the level of confidence to think that was fine.
I mean, yeah, of
You know what
course
I
he
mean?
does. But then, like you say, there's more allegations being brought out
Oh,
against
yeah,
him. A load of other women have come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I heard 6 other women apparently come out of the woodwork about him.
So it seems like that this is kind of a reoccurring thing.
I think this was a recurring theme in his general day-to-day life.
And what's happened with him? Has he stepped down?
At the moment, I'm not sure if he stepped down, but they are
Thinks it's fine.
investigating.
Ah, we know what that means. So that's no police interference.
Whatever
That's
happens,
done inside the house.
I have heard that apparently what's been brought against him is apparently a lot lighter than it should have been. Apparently, people are blaming Boris Johnson, saying that he's kind of using his power to kind of get this guy off lightly.
Oh dear.
Boris
was there.
So whatever happens with that.
No. But we can't say too much because there's an investigation. Actually, no, we can because we're not fucking media. But you know what happened there? He was in there at the time.
What, Boris?
Yeah.
You reckon Boris was in on it?
Yeah, on the shovel.
On the shovel.
Everything.
Gearing up.
It's just all. It's all there. This is happening more and more frequently now. We are getting more and more MPs, members of Parliament, getting more allegations made against them.
There definitely seems more. Do you know what I think it is? I don't even think it's the fact that it's happening more frequently. I think it's that it's been happening for so long, so often, that people are starting to come out about it more and more. And then you suddenly realise that this is like a daily thing that happens. It's not just like started happening yesterday. This has been like the last 50 years.
Well, of course,
like this has always been.
Yeah, this has always been.
And I think it just highlights how
the timeline of all these other allegations.
Yeah, and it just highlights how bad it actually is.
But well done for her for coming out
and
speaking about it and getting him dealt with. I mean, he'll get let off lightly, but the more that this comes more apparent, the more that this stuff is likely to start happening.
Yeah, cool. I think the problem as well is in these positions, this woman's obviously in a much lower level of power than he is.
Oh, a lot.
So who's she going to go to? His friends?
Oh, she'll be in a body bag.
Like what are they going to do?
Of course,
just going to protect
him,
right?
They're gonna ignore her and go, "Don't be so silly." You know, he's a lovely old man and all that shit. And yeah,
that's
it'd
be
brushed under the carpet.
People in these positions don't really have much power to do anything about it.
Or they go down the lines of saying, "Oh, he's old school. You know him. He doesn't mean no harm."
Apparently, I have heard that a lot of his, I don't know if they're classed as co-workers or fellow MPs, look the other way quite a few times.
It'll probably turn out that his whole surname's actually what he's named after.
It's not actually. It's a nickname.
It's Pincher. It's Chris Pincher. He pinches them. So yeah, that happened during the week. That's just fantastic news.
Yep.
Fair play to the woman. I hope she's all right, and I'm glad that she was able to come forward. Metropolitan, what are you doing about it? Are you going to go in there and get involved with it? Are you going to investigate this allegation? Because they are public. They should be treated exactly the same as we should be.
I'm sure it'll end up being some sort of slap on the wrist, and I mean, he won't be serving as an MP anymore.
Well, the Metropolitan coppers are walking there full of rapists anyway.
You know what happens? This guy, he won't be an MP anymore, but he'll get to go into his mansion, all his money, and he'll be fine.
That's it. Back to his wife, back to his children. Nothing said.
Pretty much.
If he probably doesn't even have a wife.
Well, he probably won't anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, you get caught out, mate. So, yeah, Chris Pincher, we're watching you. So,
you might have also heard in the week that the murder of Elle Edwards on Christmas Eve last year, the man responsible, Connor Chapman, has been sent to jail for 48 years. I mean, that's quite a long time, and I think it's probably fair enough. I mean, have you seen the video?
Yeah.
This guy, basically, he kind of pulls up in a stolen Mercedes, of course, to this sort of pub. He waits in the car park for 3 hours. He then eventually, when he sees these other gang members leaving from a rival gang, he kind of comes out. He just sort of starts shooting indiscriminately into the crowd, and he ends up putting 2 bullets in Elle Edwards' brain, and she dies from the injuries. I mean, what sort of fucking idiot? Just
3 hours he waited there as well.
What sort of absolute retard just firing into the crowd, hoping he's going to hit the people he's after.
Now, if I remember when I was a bit younger, when I started drinking, the old Bill were round pubs really often.
Yeah.
Oh, really often. Like, because they knew their areas where youngsters were drinking and driving. 3 hours he was sat there, and not one. There must have been some patrol vehicle or something going by and they didn't clock there was a stolen vehicle there or anything.
So
like
that's
that,
crazy.
you know?
Right?
I'm not saying that this could have probably been.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But you know, when I was
a little bit suspicious.
I'm talking like 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
The old Bill were everywhere outside the pub. You couldn't actually go in and have a pint without him cropping up outside in the little Panda and literally coming in going, you know, like, oh, he's been drink driving. Then all of a sudden, traffic officer turn up and they do like a couple of you for like drink driving and all that. Just because you're about to pull out. I mean, it's absolutely dreadful news.
The craziest part about it is it's not even like it kind of makes it worse in a way that he didn't even just start shooting with a handgun or something like that. He had a submachine gun. He was firing at people.
They deliberately had full intention of using that.
He's not like he's just firing it into not necessarily a crowd of people, but into a populated area. Just hoping he's going to hit the guys he's after. Like
he'd have been better off going up alongside.
What the fuck did he expect was going to happen?
The motherfucker thought he was in GTA. I mean, it's just absolutely dreadful that a young woman has died from this. But thank fuck he's got 48 years for that. You know, hopefully someone rips him a new arse.
I mean, if you look at the guy as well, he's getting bummed in prison.
Oh, he's a wrong'un.
He's not
fresh meat.
He's not surviving in there, is he?
No.
He's getting bummed for the rest of his life.
I mean.
Fair enough.
You can't stop shit like this. You're not going to stop shit like this. A lot of people, like for if you any of our US viewers out there, guns in the UK, you might not hear about it. People say they're very hard to come by. They're pretty easy to get hold of. It's normally go down the lines of a mate of a mate. I'm not being funny. We've all got that one mate of a mate who puts it out there. You know, I can get you a gun. I can get you this. I'll get you that. You know. And if push come to shove, it wouldn't surprise me if they probably can, because there's someone always know that can get it, and this is just how easy it can be given.
Yeah, I think the thing with guns in the UK as well is that you don't hear about them very often because, unlike in the US, the punishments for being even caught with a gun are really, really harsh. So you don't tend to get a lot of criminals carrying, because regardless of what they're doing, if they're caught with a gun, they're going to be prosecuted hard for that specifically, so it's not even worth carrying most of the time.
No,
but like Tom said, you can get them.
They're easily come by, and you know we've got this now uprising of the fear of 3D printed weapons as well. The ghost weapons that are coming into the UK, it's becoming more and more of a frequent thing. So these will be more and more targeted through gangs and all that to be used, because there'd be no reference or anything crime related or anything. I mean, for him to be firing a semi-automatic to an automatic weapon in public, he must have had a large quantity of rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, submachine gun or anything like that, that's a 30-round magazine. So, you know, how he's managed to get hold of one of these, go round the streets with one in a stolen vehicle and not be picked up for this to happen. I mean, it's fair play. The police have managed to get hold of him. He's now doing 48 years. And I tell you what, you're rot, mate. You're rot for the rest of your life. Because you've taken an innocent, and you know, it's not just an innocent woman. It's someone's daughter, sister, you know, could possibly have been a mother of someone, you know. That's what you've got to think about. It's the whole butterfly effect of everything.
The craziest part about it is I can't get over the stupidity of it.
No, like you say, he's just
absolute retard. Like, I don't even know what he was expecting was going to happen.
What he was attempting.
I mean, yeah, he's trying to shoot rival gang members. I mean, for one, grow up. You're in a fucking gang. Like, and also second, he's going to see them and just start fucking opening fire, like
with a submachine gun.
With a submachine, not expecting bullets to go flying everywhere.
Close quarter weapon, which is used for clearing rims and buildings.
And also, he's on fucking camera the entire time.
The whole time, you can see it in the footage. Yeah. So if you shoot over, this is off of the sun. So if you shoot over to the sun, you'll be able to see it, and they'll give you that. Obviously, they take out the part where it's distressing and everything like that. And she was out on a night out.
The stupidest part about it is you can see him back into a space where he sat. If he just looked up, he could see the camera. Guy's so fucking stupid, he doesn't even think that there's going to be a camera watching him.
But it did take him a while to get hold of him, though, didn't it?
I'm not sure, actually.
I mean, it says this was happening at Christmas time, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was Christmas Eve. I don't know how long it took to find him or how long it's taken to prosecute or anything like that. But yeah, this news has kind of weirdly only just really been in the news in the last week or so.
I think he really got sentenced the other day. So correct us if we're wrong on that. But, you know, fair play. At least there's pricks behind bars.
Yeah, and hopefully he's getting absolutely destroyed in prison right now.
Yeah, gang rivalry at this point.
Gang rivalry, please do.
It always reminds me right now, this reminds me of the Spider-Man meme, where they're pointing at each other. LGB and Mermaid, whoever they are, charities have gone war head to head with each other to clash over, what does it appear to be?
I don't really know.
Rights of charity of organisation
really,
between who can have the transgender side, I think.
It's really confusing.
For who can take the money side of it. Because as everyone is aware, you can't have LGB without the T.
True.
That is how it's gone so far this long now.
Yeah.
And then there was another organisation, charity that's popped out of it, Mermaid. You ever heard of them?
No.
No. And it's only because it's
really
become
weird.
apparent. And I don't mean to offend anyone that's lesbian or anything out there. You know, these are things that we're still learning and hearing things. I mean, they've probably been around years and everything like that. But it's just interesting how the controversy of it's all come about.
Yeah, so it's worth saying that the Mermaid charity are the ones who are trying to strip the LGB Alliance of their sort of charity status. However, it's worth noting that the Mermaids...
The trans charity status.
Yeah, of the trans charity status, sorry. But it's worth saying that the Mermaids have just lost this battle, basically, like legally.
They've lost it legally in court now. So this would be interesting to see where this goes.
Yes.
Because you're not supposed to be fighting against each other.
No,
you're meant to be fighting against us cis.
Seems very
cis people.
The white cisgender
the
male.
White cisgender male and the white cisgender female. I mean, we're not cis. Screw all that. We're just man and female. But you're at war with each other.
It's kind of interesting. Apparently, the Mermaids, I don't know what they're called Mermaids, but the Mermaids are saying that the LGB Alliance sought to destroy their reputation and sources of funding, which is weird because...
Was there like an underground battle?
I don't know.
Waging war? Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Underground in the sewers.
No one knew it was in the sewers. It's just like
it's weird
fight.
Because they seem like they're on the same side, so I don't understand why they're trying to destroy each other.
You got to remember, this is a legal battle that's been lost, so this is literally legal binding now. It doesn't matter how much as you lot might cry about it. This is some serious shit now. Like this is like you can't even take charity towards it now. If you take any funding, you're committing a fraud or offence and anything like that.
Really weird.
Criminal activity. It's just weird how it's just gone about, you know. And to spin that all off as well, you've obviously had the Stop Oil protest happening during the gay pride marches in London on Saturday. Wouldn't that... You're stopping the community.
It's weird that Just Stop Oil are trying to... I think at this point, Just Stop Oil are trying to get their...
publicity out
their kind of, awareness out there as much as they can. I mean, the general idea is...
in front of a Coca-Cola float.
Yeah, the reason Just Stop Oil decided to get in the way of the Gay Pride March was because they didn't like the fact that the Pride event had partnered with sort of these big funded companies, which obviously Just Stop Oil are kind of against because they think, corporate greed, end in the world, all this sort of stuff. So they're this is why Just Stop Oil, literally, this is why Just Stop Oil decided to kind of get in the way of the Gay Pride March. It does seem like, I don't know about you, but Just Stop Oil seem to be making a stand in all the wrong places.
Yeah, they're like diarrhea. You only want to see it now and then, and they're appearing a lot. So you're not actually getting on the right side of it.
I feel like they keep annoying the only people that might end up being on their side.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. So you've got this waging war going on with the Mermaids and the LGB, and then you've got Stop Oil now
fucking
up
Pride March.
Pride March in London.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying about the Spider-Man meme. It all seems a bit
like who's right, who's wrong,
right, who's wrong here.
Yeah.
Like, and I did hear in a tweet that apparently they didn't stop Glastonbury because We Stop Oil had said we can't do that to our own. So wait, hang on, wait. So you're hippies because you're hippies and they were there as well. The hippies were at the Glasgow. You didn't want to interrupt your friends who are also hippies. But wouldn't they be taking a large amount of organisational profits and everything from global trading companies as well as the the equipment to power all of that is done by generators
and all the broadcast rights and everything.
It's all getting a bit kerfuffled, isn't it?
It's a little bit weird, isn't it?
It's all getting a bit weird now. It's all getting
a little bit odd as well. The police in the Gay Pride March moved the Just Stop Oil protesters out of the way.
Oh, swiftly.
Very quickly. However...
When I got stopped in traffic, what did they do?
When Just Stop Oil decided to stop people in traffic trying to get home, the police are like, we can't touch them.
You end up getting like a public order fine if you beep your horn at them.
Yeah.
I don't
really understand that.
So it's at the moment, it's all getting a bit heated.
Just a little bit.
Do you reckon it's all climate change? Do you reckon it's all coming to them? Their tinfoil hats are cooking a bit harder than they need to be.
Cooking their brains.
The wokeness is happening. They're all going to fry in a minute.
It's almost like sometimes, right? It's almost like the wokeness takes over them. The Just Stop Oil specifically, it takes them over so hard. It's like they can't even see the wood for the trees. They just want to fight anyone.
Yes,
but not the right people.
You're doing the wrong people anyway. Like years ago, you had the Stop Nuclear, didn't you?
Mm.
And they'd actually go to the nuclear power plants and they would try and stop them. And we had this with the atomic weapons program, the nuclear weapons program. You know, stop using nuclear weapons, blah blah blah. And the protesters would go and stand outside the nuclear power plants because it ain't no good going and standing down the Shell garage.
No.
So you know, unless we had like fallout cars which had like reactors in them, but we don't. No. So you go and stand there, and if you're to protest against animal rights, you would go with Peter, and then you'd go outside like, I don't know, like Dove shampoos and, you know, all these. You wouldn't go and stand in the city of London and stop the free flow of working people.
No, it doesn't really make any sense.
I understand the concept of shutting down a city to get your attention. However, you want to get the majority on your side.
Yeah. You don't want to piss everyone off because then no one supports you.
So what's happening now is you're pissing off probably like who would have been with you on this.
Yeah. Just pissing off the problem is with groups like this is they piss off the everyday person, and the only way you make change is with the opinion of the everyday person, the average person.
Yeah.
If you haven't got their vote, then you're not getting anywhere.
No, exactly. And this is where it's getting really interesting now. It's getting really interesting to the point that even like some news media are like, oh, do we stop broadcasting? We stop oil.
Mm.
You can do, but isn't that against journalism? Like, isn't that against the whole point of what journalism is?
I mean, I think so. But at the same time, as we all know, I mean, journalists and more so the companies journalists work for, you know, I'm talking like Sky News, BBC News, they've got their own agendas to push, and they only push out the stories they want people to see. The
majority of the story in it is the story that captures most people.
I mean, let's face it, Sky News aren't putting out stories that don't align with their agenda. They're putting out stories that, you know, push what they believe in.
Yeah.
You know,
vaccines
so for example, if Sky News are for trans rights, they put out more stories about trans rights being a good thing. If they're against it, they do the opposite. Like, then
which is why I find this interesting that this topic has come to light, that there are two gay communities that have then fighting each other. That's what I find interesting.
Yeah.
And who's this media article with? Is this the BBC?
This is on the BBC.
Oh, the wokeness of them all. You know, the very woke.
Do you know what? I kind of feel like the BBC are
paedophiles.
I mean, a lot of them are. I feel like the BBC are the least woke of the news broadcasting companies.
Do you think?
I think they're pretty woke in general. But I think in terms of a lot of them, to be fair, I feel like BBC a lot of the time don't tend to lean either way. I think that's why I think that. They tend to try and stay in the middle a little bit. They don't really want to pick a side sometimes.
But they'll push a hoaxy vaccine down.
But then, then they'll do something like that. So it's a little bit like...
But this is like what I say, going back to the Spider-Man meme. It really does crack me up how it's all gone about, that they are literally all pointing at each other now to
just
wait, who can be what?
Like
who can have what? I literally thought LGBTQ Google password covered it all. But it doesn't.
No, it almost seems like the problem with these groups is that every one of them wants to be the right one. And and some of them, like this, want to say that all the others are the wrong ones. They're the right one.
Yeah, I get that, because it's like having a school project, I suppose, and you have like a science project, and then like you've got like 5 people, and like 4 people agree with one project, you've got that one person that says, actually, that's not right, we should do it that way.
Yeah.
I get that, and then all of a sudden, wow, they're all clicking, and they're all going, hang on, wait, no, we should all put our own thing.
And then at the same time, each person wants to be the one that takes all the credit. Each person wants to be the one that did it.
And this is what's happening now, to the point where Mermaids have lost legal action.
Yeah.
Interesting. It'd be quite interesting to see how much more developed comes from that.
It'd be interesting to know a little bit more, because there's not a whole lot of news coverage on this.
No, it makes you wonder why, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know.
Because I know that I think a spokesman spoke for them, for the mermaid community, saying, you know, that there are some things that the LGBTQ Google password don't agree with, that they don't like, and then you could say the same backwards and forwards. So it's all at the moment. It's all very medieval warfare.
Confusing. I think the thing is, the Mermaid group have said that the LGB Alliance have been trying to destroy them, which is odd.
You don't know, do you?
But the problem is, because there's not been much coverage, nobody really seems to know what the LGB Alliance have actually done. And it is worth noting as well that the LGB Alliance are kind of like a separate sort of like trans, bisexual, gay group. They're not specifically LGBTQ.
For everyone, are they? No.
They're not like the general LGBTQ brand.
No, this is an actual organisation.
This is like an LGB Alliance. This is like a separate
This is like a literal organisation, a charity that takes money and deals with it. Yeah. And I believe that they then go and take their fundings and they help people. And
they do.
Stuff like that.
The weird thing is, though, the Mermaids sound like they do basically the same thing.
The same thing, yeah.
So it almost seems like, are they just at war because, they
want the trans part, or they want the trans part?
One's doing better than the other? Like, do you know what I mean?
It'd be interesting to see a profit margin.
Is it just like a basic business war? Is that what's going on?
I mean, you'd think you'd put all differences aside, just combine, wouldn't you?
You'd almost think so.
Like the actual community did. We'll leave that to you. So unfortunately, we've got some sad news. This happened yesterday morning. A poor innocent child has been killed and a load of other children have been injured due to a large Land Rover Defender crashing through the school fence. The severities around the incident are not clear yet. We don't know much has gone on. You were just saying that CCTV image has been kept, hasn't been released.
Yes, apparently police have reviewed CCTV of the incident. No, it's not been released to the public yet, but they have apparently reviewed that. As far as we know, 16 people were injured. Obviously, 8-year-old girl died, and 10 other people were taken to hospital for treatment for other injuries.
Absolutely shocking news. So these, bearing in mind, this was in the playground. This happened. So the children were out having a tea party as it was their last day of term. So, the teachers and all that having a tea party and everything with them, and then all of a sudden a brand new Land Rover Defender has gone colliding through the fence and crashed into the children. Now, this is where it gets interesting around schools. This is in Wimbledon, in London, so southwest London. Most of the areas in southwest London now are 20-mile-per-hour roads. So for you to actually go plummeting through a fence at that speed and not come to some sort of reaction to stop, she must have been going some hell of a speed, but don't want to say anything that's wrong just in case that there was something that happened behind the wheel that no one knows about, because you do obviously, there's been speculation that I've seen on social media, I don't know if it's true, that there was a medical condition behind the wheel.
Yeah, so I know you said earlier, and when I had a look, I have seen similar things, that there might have been some sort of medical condition behind the wheel. It does seem a little bit, I mean, at the moment, the woman has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. It'd be interesting to know the actual circumstances from the driver's point of view as to what happened, how, she managed to plough basically into a school in a Land Rover. And like you said, speed limits around schools are pretty low. They are
very tight.
10, 20 miles an hour anyway. So to be going that sort of speed to, take out a child, that's actually in the school as well.
It's in the school. It's gone straight through the fence, over the field, and into the actual building. So, this is where now, I was thinking to myself on the way home yesterday, listening to this on the radio, are the vehicles too big to be around near schools? Do we need a massive vehicle like that living in London?
I mean, let's face it, realistically, who actually needs a car that big? Do you know what I mean? Who needs, it's cool to have a big boy Land Rover, but you're driving around Wimbledon.
You're driving around a 2.5-ton weapon.
You're driving around London. Like, you don't need to be driving around this, massive metal box
SUV
of death that weighs
SUV.
What was it? Weighs 2 tons or something?
They weigh 2.5 tons.
You don't need to be driving that around London, do you?
This is it. This is where I work in London, so a lot of the roads that we do work on are 20-mile-per-hour roads. You'd be very rare now to get to 30. Because of the congestion in London, you'll be very rare now to even get to 30 to 40 miles per hour in London. You know, a majority of London is really starting to tighten on its speed restrictions, like White City, the North Circular. That used to be 40
they
mile per
are.
hour. That's
I mean,
30
do you know
now.
what? I don't drive around London that much. Probably once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But last time I went, I think this was back in February, maybe. I went up for a concert. Driving around London, it really threw me how low the speed
Slow
limits
it
are.
is. Yeah.
Every road was like 20 miles an hour.
Every road is 20.
It
And
really
they got
was,
speed bumps on them. Every
it
road's
was
got a
really
speed bump.
weird.
You know, so it'd be interesting to see what comes of this. I mean, I'd just like to say thank you to the emergency services and to the school. It looks like you did a fantastic job of responding. Apparently this was near like a river or some sort of canal. Apparently the emergency services pretty much took straight to heart being there. And there were obviously a lot of locals that walked past and were able to see what had happened. Apparently the place was swarmed within literally hours of parents concerned and everything like that of what had happened. I mean, I just couldn't imagine the news, it being your child that has been killed or injured. I mean, fair play to the police, they arrested her straight away.
Yeah.
She's been dealt with and processed, so she's in custody as we speak. Like we said, they're holding back the CCTV image. I mean, it's just absolutely upsetting to hear, and it's not something you want to hear about.
No, it is quite upsetting, and even the police commander Claire Culland, who gave the sort of press conference afterwards, it even says in the news article here that she's talking about it being a difficult time, and apparently her voice even breaks a few times.
Yeah, she does. If you listen to the interview, she breaks tear while she's talking, because this is not something you want to be speaking about, is it? Especially considering it's the last day of term. Had this been one more day, the school would have been completely empty.
Yeah, what's not been immediately clear at the moment is why this woman was there, what she was doing. Was she picking up a child? Was she just passing through the area? I haven't seen anything covering that at the moment.
No, there's not a lot. And, you know, this is where it gets onto the topic now of, like we were just saying, is the vehicle suitable to be driving around in London? Is it suitable to be going anywhere near schools with? I mean, let's go back 60 years when the Land Rover Defender was actually a tool. It wasn't actually owned by like normal people. No. It was a tool. It was for use for off-roading, for farmers, for the military.
It wasn't just to look cool.
We're seeing it every day now. Even like today, I was at Sports Day. Great big, massive Porsche SUVs, Q7 Audis turning up, soccer mums turning up in them.
Yeah.
Do you need that massive vehicle to be doing the school running?
To just drop your two kids off at the gates?
Because I can tell you now, you'll never use that vehicle to its full potential.
Oh no,
never use it to its full potential.
No.
You know, I just have a normal saloon. Literally a normal saloon. I have a truck for work, and I have a van for work. Literally, little saloon car. You've got a Fiesta.
Yeah.
Do you need anything bigger? I understand years ago it goes back to Volvo. Volvo was the safest vehicles for doing the school run, the SUV, because it was high and tall. Remember, these things roll easier though, because they're higher.
Yeah,
remember that.
That
the only one that doesn't is the Tesla Model X, because the battery is at the bottom, all the way to the bottom. So the riding height on these vehicles are easily at the roll, and you will be surprised how slow you'd be going. You can roll a 4x4.
Oh yeah, well you just got to think of the weight. You know, when that's being
weight distribution
pushed in one direction,
and then falls the other way. All that weight's got to go somewhere, and it's not going to go to the ground. You know, and most cars nowadays have got a 5-star rating. What's wrong with a smart car? You could literally be like 5-star rating. They even did that years ago, didn't they, with the two massive cranes, and they smash it together, and there's nothing harm comes to it. So I want to talk about what the Land Rover Defender. Do we need such big vehicles? And this is the damage that they can cause.
Do you know what's crazy as well? I mean, maybe in the US, I kind of get a car of that size in some situations.
Texas, yeah.
But in the UK, you don't have places like Texas. You don't have places in the UK really at all that are, you know,
unless you go to Wales or
big,
Scotland,
wide open roads. You know, for I don't know 80-90% of the use case, you don't need it. You just go in A to B. You know, you're going to the school run, you're going to work, you're going to the shop. And over here as well in the UK, it's not like in the US. Like, if you
could be going 40 minutes before you need to go to a shop.
That's what I mean. Like over here, if you're going to the shop, it's 5 minutes down the road.
It's even that.
If you're doing the school run, it's 15 minutes away.
I've got 3 shops that I can get to in a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
Or 1-minute drive.
That's what I mean. I can walk to the shop in 5 minutes from where I live.
Don't need to take the car.
Supermarket's 5 minutes away.
And these people will happily jump in that car mode, music blaring, off they go, boom, 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 and they do speed. And as we were talking about it, coming out of London yesterday, just the amount of people that are on their mobile phones in these state-of-the-art vehicles now.
Yeah.
Fuck me, you've got Apple CarPlay, you've got the built-in, Audi's got like its own MMI or MMI sort of built-in thing that will literally tell you the text or get you to text it or speak to the car or anything. And if you parked up, you've seen it, the old, you squiggle it on the screen, it'll write for you.
Thing is though, how often are you in the car when you can't just wait to reply when you get where you're going? How long are you going to be in the car? You're not doing a 6-hour drive all the time, are you?
No, exactly.
And if you really need to reply that bad, just fucking pull over.
It'd be interesting to know what comes of this. This is why, this is what I wanted to touch on. Do they need the vehicles this big? Was she on the phone? Was she drink driving? A lot of it's down to speculation of medical conditions. We can all go down the medical condition route. We could all say, I had a funny heart whilst driving. I mean, let's just think here. We've lost a small child and other children are injured, and that is beginning of their time off. There's going to be grieving parents now. The school's going to be hit with this major incident that's happened. And this is the topic of, this is what I think is the major thing now. What more safety needs to happen around schools?
Yeah, I mean, how far do you go? Do you set every school up so that you can't ram it with a truck? Well, how far do you go?
I mean, there are some roads now in London. You will not get down near the school because they put a roadblock in from 8 o'clock till 9:15.
Yeah.
And then it will open back up, and then it will do the same at 2:30 to 3:30.
That makes a lot of sense.
And they close the roads off, and they've started bringing it in down here in Southampton. If you go over to West End, there's a road there now that closes off to the school, and he's got a full traffic management member. He pulls it all out, and it's already built in. He just literally pulls it across the road, and it says road closure, no access. And all residents are screwed until obviously that road opens. And I think that's what's probably going to happen. But this was during school hours, so as much as we can put into it, this was during school hours.
I mean, as far as I can tell, I think it does depend what comes of the woman's condition when she was driving. Now, if it was a medical condition, something like that, unfortunately, this is one of those situations where it's probably a one-off. It's probably not going to happen.
It'll probably never happen again.
I mean, if this woman was drunk or whatever, that's a totally different story.
Yeah.
But, if this was a medical problem, she faints behind the wheel, something like that, it's so sad, but at the same time, it's a one-off. This isn't something you can put policies and procedures in front of to fix.
No, not away.
It's just a sad situation that unfortunately people have got to now sort of try.
And like we say, as
really
as the situation develops, then that's when you can start putting your nitpicking it and everything like that. Start putting a fine comb through it and start analysing everything and putting it together. But just like to say, we're sorry to hear about your loss, and obviously all the other children. I hope that they have a fast recovery, and I hope nothing permanent comes of it.
No, and the 16 people that were injured, I hope they're okay, and the 10 people that went to hospital, hopefully they've all been able to go home now, and that they're okay.
Everyone's fine, and the parents and and to the public services there, well done, done a brilliant effort, sorting it all out, and like we say, we'd like to see what more comes of this. It'd be very interesting if anything else comes of this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any more coverage on this, we'll try and cover it in a future episode.
We're covering, but like I say, this would be one of those ones that just slips
just
by.
Fades away.
Yeah, it will be. You'll just see it come up in a year or two. This will, unfortunately.
More than likely. I think the problem with these is they take so long to go through the system that by the time anything comes of it, the news has kind of moved on, which is sad.
Yeah, this is it. Hopefully there's some surrounding footage as well from like Ring doorbells or residents with cameras they were able to pick up when she entered the estate.
I mean, it sounds like there's more than enough on CCTV, although it's hard to know because we can't see it.
No, you can't see it, can you?
But apparently police have reviewed the CCTV, which seems like it tells quite a story, so I guess we'll see what comes of that.
If they haven't disclosed it and they haven't come out straight away, it'll probably be in criminal imaging.
Yeah, I mean, if there was nothing on it, they would have said there was no footage.
Yeah.
So
they wouldn't have really disclosed that, would they?
Sounds like there's probably
I bet there is in criminal...
Quite a lot of evidence on there.
Yeah, I bet there is.
So I guess we'll see.
Like we say, we'll cover it on the next episode.